performers eat it up.
And Felix has been performing since then for the rest of his life.
But the extent of my music is this. This is the extent of my music, Adam.
I hate to tell you what he's playing.
I don't want to ask. No, I can't hear it.
He has Alex's toy keyboard, and he's...
Oh, okay. Well, that's a start, you know.
Yeah, sure.
You know, I mean, it's obviously...
Play by numbers.
What's that?
Play by numbers, you know.
Yeah, he only wants to know. He only wants to know. He only wants to know one thing. He says, "Did Liberace start like this?"
Elisa, you back there?
I'm here.
All right.
We're trying to make you smile, Elisa.
Nothing really making me smile lately. The only thing that's going to make me smile is when they tell me you're in remission.
Well, that's good. Let's hope. Let's hope.
Let's hope. Anyway, but meanwhile, let's see. Oh, Adam, I don't think you've ever heard this song. Elisa, you may have heard this song, but we like to play this song.
He doesn't even know. He'll just click on any song.
No. Come on. This is the one for... this is my song for ISIS.
All right, let's hear it.
All right.
Oh, is this your?
You know what? You should get your cousin David from Texas to call in.
Right. Yeah.
He actually mentioned that once.
Yeah. I had Nathan on the show once. Okay, listen to
you
this
did?
song. Yeah.
All right, I'm listening.
You know what happens, Adam? People come on this show and then they never come on again. That's it.
No, that's not true.
No, that's definitely not true. But
so, okay, you gonna play?
Yep.
His wife. Yes, she liked it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, even I remember that.
Well, he doesn't.
A killing machine with a need to bleed you when the light goes green. Best believe I'm in the zone to be. From my yin to my yang to my yang to see. The beard on my chin, come to me. Cause I'm weird, I'm a one of a kind, and I'll bring death to the place you're out. Another river of blood running under my feet. Forged in the fire little long ago. Stand next to me, you'll never stand alone. I'm last to leave, but the first to go. Lord, make me deaf, you make me whole. I'll be on the beat. The devil inside of the enemy faces in my sight. Aim with a hand, shoot with a mind, feel the heart like Arctic ice. I am a soldier and I'm marching on. I am a soldier and I'm marching on. I am a warrior, this is my song. I am a warrior and this is my song. I'm in the glow of the rising war. Lay waste to the ground of an enemy shore. To the blood spills on the floor. And if another one stands, I'll kill some more. Bullet in the breach and a fire me like a cigarette thrown to gasoline. If death don't bring you fear, I swear you'll fear these marching feet. Come to the nightmare, come to me. Deep down in the dark where the devil be. To the mall where the dolls and the razor teeth. Where the brimstone burns and the angel weeps. All to the gods of a cross or a path and my silhouette hangs like a body bag. Hope is a moment now long past. The shadow of death is the one I cast. I am a soldier and I'm marching on. I am a warrior and this is my song. My heart is steel and my gaze is strong. I am a warrior and this is my song.
We're not just going to shoot the bastards. We're going to cut out their living guts and use them to grease the treads of our tanks. We're going to murder those lousy bastards.
Okay, we've got a new caller on the line. Hello.
Who?
Yeah, how you doing tonight? Caller?
I'm doing pretty well.
Good. Who's calling?
This is Bianchi calling from the Midwest.
Oh.
Okay, hi. How are you tonight?
Whereabouts in the Midwest?
St. Louis.
St. Louis, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Things quiet there these days?
No, they just had a suicide in St. Louis. In Missouri.
There's a little snow on the ground.
Oh, yeah?
Try to find a place
in the
country where there's no snow at all.
I was listening to your conversation and looking at the topic about the terrorists. You was asking, what next? You know, it's not much more that could be bamboozled down the throats of Americans that we have already seen. The mess that have been created in that part of the world was for who's good. Sure, it wasn't for the good of the average American.
You don't know who to sit down with and negotiate because they don't want to negotiate.
No, he's saying that listen, so everything's been happening has not actually helped Americans in any way. Us invading Iraq or anything else. I think that's what you're talking about, right?
Well,
that's right. That was the biggest scam that, Ringling Brothers couldn't have duplicated that.
That's the truth.
What?
It's like everybody says, you say what you want about Saddam and Gaddafi and, Syria and Mubarak in Egypt. The bottom line is they knew how to keep their people in check, and...
Well, that's not even the point. The point is that we attacked them for no reason.
Well, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, he wanted to get rid of Saddam. Gaddafi fell. All right. Mubarak was the, the Egyptian Spring or Arab Spring. Okay. He was a dictator. So, you got to say, be careful what you do. Well, be careful what you want because you may get it, and then you may not like what you have.
Well, you shouldn't have been messing with them people anyway. I mean, look at what's happened to Iraq. I mean, just from a World Heritage standpoint, look at the destruction that has went on with the artifact, which actually benefits the whole world because talks about world history that we cannot duplicate. You can't go back. Then, the country was very well off. So was Libya. And look at them now. Look at the lives that have been destroyed. Look at the future lives that lay in balance because of the contamination and the toxicity that will linger on. And sooner or later, that will affect what goes on here in the United States just from an ecosystem standpoint. You don't have to have one terrorist, quote unquote, to set foot within the boundaries of the U.S. Just from the havoc that you're calling with the ecosystem, it's going to affect this country in one way or the other. So it doesn't make any sense. And the people that's behind this, for their own reasons and their own monetary gain, those people need to be hunted down and put to justice and executed. The reenactment of a Nuremberg is what they need. Because if it's not that part of the world today, what other part of the world will it be tomorrow?
But you see, they don't believe...
And look at all the boogeyman's we've had. I know you guys have witnessed all these boogeymen.
Oh,
you witnessed communists. Now we're witnessing Muslims, quote unquote, terrorists, quote unquote. Quote unquote. What's the next boogeyman?
Oh, I guess Putin is another one in Russia.
That's right. What do you do
Yeah.
when you're Vladimir Putin? You kill your opponent and then say, okay, now I'm going to investigate.
Yeah.
Well, after watching enough James Bond movies, I think maybe Putin killed him. Might have been some Western agency on the level of a CIA or M6 or whatever.
Not the guy that got killed. He was against
I don't
Putin.
think they'd be going after Boris.
Yeah, Boris, he was against Putin. He was he was an activist. I think Putin put him down, and guess what?
Well, Putin talked about that some time ago, months ago. You can see it on YouTube. He said that something like this would happen in order to bring about from the Russian people, that section of the Russian people, to rise up. They want to have a Russian Spring, I guess. Like they did in the Ukraine, getting rid of Yanukovych. And these people are duly elected. Al-Assad in Syria was elected again. Yanukovych was elected. We can say that the election was not fair, but we had some elections in Florida with President Bush that people say it wasn't fair.
You stop and you say to yourself, I wonder how different the world would have been if Gore was president for those 8 years.
Well, personally, I don't think Gore would have done much better. Not that I like Bush at all.
Well, you see, Bush gave comedians a lot of material.
Absolutely.
Gore would have been very boring, but I don't think that we would have gone into Iraq.
No, probably not. I don't see how. Well, actually, when you're talking to Cheney's the one that's got to be put under scrutiny a little bit more.
Oh, please. The man disgusting.
That guy is crazy.
He's...
Cheney is ridiculous.
Nothing that he would change. And he never made a mistake, according to him, when he was vice president. Never made a mistake. Doesn't regret anything.
Of course, you
and I are, the three of us is up in age, and you mentioned your grandchildren. Your grandchildren are going to suffer from this.
Sure they are. I mean, the worst that happened when we were kids, you had the Cold War, so you'd have take cover drills when you'd have to get underneath your desk, okay? Or you'd have to go into the hallway of the school and stay away from glass. And that was it. Never had to worry, really, that it was going to, they were going to reach land, okay? You had the strategic air control in Colorado Springs, and they looked out for Russian MiGs, and I'm sure the Russians had something similar in Moscow, but that was it. Once they signed the test ban treaty, no longer testing nuclear weapons in the atmosphere or underground, it was more or less of a status quo. You have yours, we have ours. It was a war of words, more or less. The closest we